In this video, I'm going to talk you through how to build a module. We use a modular structure here at Ravenscroft for building out our curriculum for students. And I've already gone through in a previous video what that structure looks like. So please watch that one first if you haven't. So when you're on your home page for a course, this is the home page for the course I teach, you can see over here to the left you have modules. You have a lot of other buttons you could click on as well. I really strongly advise you not to build out your assignments and your quizzes under assignments and quizzes, because then they won't be in the correct order in your module. You want to think of your modules as a place where students can click next to go on to the next logical part of your course. So if I click on modules here, and to start a new module, you want to click add module at the top. So we're going to add a new module. I'm going to call this one unit. Well, let's call this demo just because I'm doing a demo. Now, some really cool things here. I can lock it to publish at a certain time. To publish at a certain time. I can also add prerequisites as something like students must complete the previous module before they can go on to this module. There are a lot of different things you can do in Canvas so that things stay locked until you're ready for students to access them. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to click add module. If I go down now, it's always going to add the new module at the bottom. We strongly advise that you then move it to the top, which you go over here and you move module, because you want to have the most recent one at the top. So move module, place demo at top, and I'm going to click move. It's going to be easier for you to access it when it's at the top as well. So a lot of different things you can add to a module once you've created it. The first thing you're always going to need to add are your learning objectives. So you want to go over here, and to do that, you're more likely need to add a text header first. So if you add the text header, then you're going to, from there, you can add learning objectives. Okay, let's go ahead and indent that one level. And we're going to add that item. So that's just a header for you so that people know what's coming up next. From learning objectives, you want to then go ahead and add your learning objectives. I would suggest doing that as on a page. I'm going to actually increase this indent just a slight bit. Go up to add, and when you hit add, you're going to have lots of other options. So I would suggest putting your learning objectives on a page. That's what's going to make the most sense. So let's click on page, and you're going to click on create page from there. Create page. Okay. And I'm going to call this Unit 1, Module 1, learning objectives. Oops. And you can just put 1.1 if you prefer as well. Depends on how you want to name things. And then I'm going to indent that to levels. So I'm going to go ahead and hit add item. And so now you have a page here where you can go and you can add your learning objectives. You would just go here and click edit. And I'm going to put, by the end of this module, you will be able to whatever it is that students will be able to do by the end of the module. I'm going to click save. And so students have the learning objectives right there. Okay, so let's go back to modules. And now I want to start adding things to the module. So I'm going to click add again. And this time, I think I'm going to do a page again. And I'm going to actually, let's start the unit with a discussion. Okay. Kind of be a fun way to start sometimes for students. And I'm going to just hit create a topic. We're going to call this getting started. Whatever it makes sense for you to add there. So I'm going to go ahead and add that discussion here. Need to go in and edit it because I don't have any information in there yet. So I'm going to click edit. And if you've watched my previous video, we always want to add headers to let people know if there's something they need to turn in or not. And since this is going to fall under engagement because it's something that students need to turn in, I'm going to go ahead and add an image that I already have uploaded to this course that allows, really quickly, it's a way for me to go over and add an image. And now students will know that this is the engagement portion, meaning that they have to turn something in here. That's what that gold will indicate. And I'm going to say respond. I got to put in first, got to put in a question. And then something like respond once to this prompt and 2, 3 of your peers' responses. Okay, whatever it may be. Okay, so you want to go ahead and do that. If you go down some more, you can just make different choices about this discussion. One of the things that I would suggest is doing users must post before seeing replies, because in this situation, when someone when a student goes in to reply to the original question, they're not reading everyone else's replies first and getting ideas. They have to be creative and make it their own. And then once they post, then they can see everyone's replies and they can go in and respond to other people. You could also make it a group discussion if you wanted to narrow down your class to smaller groups. And you can set that up under people. And then, of course, you want to put when this is available from until, so that students know when they need to turn it in by. Important to have that until date on your discussions, because otherwise it's not going to appear in the correct order in your grade book, and students won't know when it's due if you don't have an until date. All right, so I've gotten that portion ready to go. So let's say now that I have a discussion, I want the next part of my module to be, I'm going to create a page so that I can maybe embed some videos that I want students to watch. We're going to go ahead and indent that 2 levels as well. I'm going to create an original page here. I'm going to call it, maybe this is going to be, we're in module 1.1, and this is part 3. I should have added that to the discussion. It was 1.1.2. Or actually, I think it was 1. So this is going to be 0.2. And then I'm going to call this whatever you want to call this page, which is, we're just going to call it demo. You can call it whatever you'd like. So now I have a page here that's blank. You can click on it and go over to edit. This, as I mentioned before, videos that they're going to watch. So I'm going to go down to the course images and click discovery. Students are going to know when they see the green discovery that they don't have to turn anything in, that this is a portion of the module where they are going to be learnings about something, but not necessarily turning something in. Let's say I want to embed a video here for them to watch. Okay, I'm going to say upload media. I could put something from my computer. I can record, all right, and I can put that there. Another thing that's really nice to know is that you can also go over here to this area and put things in. You can put in external links. You can put in course links. I'm actually going to embed. Okay, you may go, how am I going to embed? I'm going to go over to YouTube. I'm going to grab a link. Here's my YouTube channel. Let me just grab a link to one of my videos. If I click on this link and let me make sure it's paused. If I click share, I can click here and on the embed and hit copy. So I can get that embed link. Again, you hit share, hit embed, and copy, and that'll give you the embed link. Now, if I go back over to Canvas, oops, that's not the one I was on. Let me find where I was. Here we go. I'm going to paste that embed link here. You can just hit Control V and put that in there. And now it embeds the video right on the page. So let's say you wanted to have them watch a screencast that you already made and that you loaded to YouTube, or you're having them watch a TED Talk that you found on YouTube, whatever it may be, you can embed that very easily. Again, that was under Insert. Okay, go down to Embed, and you can grab those embed codes under Share when you're in YouTube. Really cool little trick. All right, so let's say that's what they're going to do next. So I'm going to hit Save. Okay, I'm going to go back to my module and take a look. So it's really starting to be built out, and I'm going back and forth between different things. Remember, I forgot to name this one correctly, so I would want to maybe go under Edit and go back and say, oh, this was 1.1.1, making sure that you're following the naming strategy in place. All right, so let's now say I want to add an assignment. So I'm going to create an assignment. We're going to call this demo assignment, and I'm going to click indent 2 levels. We're going to add that item. Again, it goes to the bottom. Now, if you ever add one and you're like, ooh, I need to move that, you can grab over here to the far left and move things around in your module. All right, so I'm going to go over, I again didn't use the correct naming structure, so I can hit Edit, and I can go in and say this is 1.1, Unit 1, Module 1, Activity 3, just in case you're in class and you're telling students how to get to something and they're not having to search through. These numbers will be very helpful for you to help them locate things in your module. All right, so I'm going to click on that. And this is going to be an assignment, so I need to click Edit. Remember, they're completely blank. You have to go in and create them. Now, it's an assignment, so I need to go grab from my course images the one that says engagement, so that students will know that it's something that they need to turn in. And you go ahead and click on that, and it will be added automatically. So now I can go in here and tell students what they need to do in this assignment. So you're going to give them all the instructions, whatever that may be. Then you get to go down and you have a lot of things to choose from as far as assignments are concerned. Due dates are very important. If you wanted to start and end at a certain time, like maybe that you only want them to access it during your class, you can set it up that way. If you've set up assignment groups ahead of time, then you can access which ones you want it to go under. You can see I have in my course assignments, discussions, reflection. I don't know why I have important assignments. I think that's something I probably need to go delete. But you can have your assignment groups. You can set up points, how you want the grade displayed, whether you want this. I mean, there's a lot of options that you need to go through. Let me just go through really quickly what I think is the most important part of setting up your assignment, and that's your submission type. Okay, you can have them submit it online. If you want them to turn in a Google Doc to you, then you need to click File Uploads. Okay, really important. Okay, not a website URL. No, if you want them to turn in a URL for some reason, that's fine. A lot of different options here. You can just have a text entry box, and Canvas will create that for you if that's what you'd like. But if you're trying to have them turn in a Google Doc to you, please include or check File Uploads. Okay, so that's an option. No submission means you want them to do something and maybe just hold on to it for a while. They're not turning anything in at this time. On paper, even if this is an offline assignment, something that you're giving them, that you want them to turn in on paper, you still need to create the assignment in Canvas so that it appears on a student's to-do list and so that a column is created in your grade book where you can put grades. So still need to create an assignment even if it's something you're giving them offline. And then external tool is another option that you can choose, all right? If I click Find, there's a few options here that you can choose from. I'd like for everyone to at some point try using Kami. Kami will want to have access to your Google Drive. Then you can choose any document in your Google Drive. Let me go under Canvas and see what I've got. I'm just going to choose some random document. I'm going to click Select and give it a second. It takes a second to load oftentimes. Oh, Proceed. Do need to click Proceed. So it chooses the file, and what it does is it takes the file from your Google Drive and it converts it to a PDF. And so students can annotate it. So I'm going to click select. Now you can see that I have Kami loaded here, and that document has been converted. So when a student opens it, they can annotate the PDF and then hit submit and turn it back into you, and you'll find it in your SpeedGrader. I'm going to load this tool in a new tab. You can put the number of attempts, and as I said before, you can assign it to certain groups, and it's really important that you have a due date so that it appears on a student's to-do list. We're going to just stop there. I'm going to click save, and this is what it's going to look like in Kami when I open it. And students can go over here and they can mark it up, they can add comments, they can add a text box, they can do a lot of different things, add media. And then on their side, there will be on the right-hand corner in the top, they're going to have a submit button so that they can submit it back to you. Okay, so then we're going to go back to modules. And I'm going to say, well, of course, your module will probably be a little longer than this. I'm going to say, well, I think it's time that we add a quiz and do a bit of an assessment here. So I'm going to hit create quiz. I suggest trying new quizzes, not the classic quizzes. I find that the interface is more, I don't know, just easier to use. So we're going to call this the demo quiz. Oh, remember, I keep forgetting we are at 1.1.4. So the fourth step in the module. And you'd probably have an assignment group for quizzes, or, if you're doing world language, it might fall under a category like, interpretive reading or something. So anyways, I'm going to add the item. Now, then another thing that's really nice as you're building your module, you can see based on the symbols, and students can too, whether it's a quiz or an assignment or just a page where they're having to look at something. You can see what the discussion looks like. They have these icons that help the eye choose where they need to go as well. So if I clicked on quiz, lots of options here that you can use. I'm not going to, in this video, show you how to build out a quiz, but you would just click on it and go through how to build it. It guides you through. So I'm going to say, wow, I've got a really great built out module. The last thing I need to add before we finish up our module is some reflection. I like to do your reflection as a discussion question. And sometimes, though, I'll just do it on as an assignment. So it depends on how you want it. Do you want it to be a discussion between the whole class, or do you want it to be assignment? My favorite for doing this is either discussion or assignment. So we're going to go ahead and put this in. And for the reflection, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to hit edit again. All right, I'm going to go over. This is something a student needs to turn into me. So that's engagement. I actually have one that's for reflection, but it is engagement. It needs to be highlighted in gold, really. If you want to have a separate banner for reflection, you can, but students really do need to know this is something they need to turn in. So then I would suggest just typing out what, maybe doing like, say, 3 things that you learned in this module, 2 things you still have questions about, 1 thing that you're excited about learning in our next module, whatever you may want to do for a 3, 2, 1 reflection. Here I like to, for the submission type, I like to say online and just do a text entry box so they can type in their answer, and then it'll appear in SpeedGrader for you. Of course, you need to fill out all this other information and then click save. So if I go back to my module now, I have a pretty built out module. Sorry, gotta click back a few more times here. Probably easier just to click modules. Okay, so here we have a built out module. Let's say I've got it ready to go. I'm ready for students to access it. I can go over here and hit publish. All right, it publishes the entire module except the quiz. Quizzes you want to publish when you're ready. You can publish it the moment they come into class, or you can set it up to only be available during the times that they're in class. Or I can go down and hit publish when I'm ready. So here we go. This is how we would create a module in Canvas. And please reach out if you have any questions.